Welcome to the Voices of the Goddess podcast. We believe that there is a goddess inside each and every one of us. When we use our voice to share that goddess, we support and uplift each other. Join us each week as we interview women to receive the message of their goddess within.
Hello, everybody, and good morning. My name is Allyson Mancini. I am your holistic nutritionist, and we are excited to be here today. I'm here with my amazing sidekick.
Hi, I'm Julietta, the magical PT. Welcome to the Voices of the Goddess podcast, where we empower, support, and uplift women. And today we are joined by Halley. Welcome to our show. Thank you for joining us. And would you please introduce yourself to our audience? Tell them a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure, I'd love to. Thank you. I'm Halley Elise, and I inspire and impact lives by invoking change and teaching people the importance of commingling intuition and intellect. I've been working in the spiritual arena for 30 plus years in one capacity or another. I've been using my gifts of...
Oh no.
Dang it, we're afraid that was going to happen. All right. And she was just getting into it. It was so fascinating what she does. Okay, let me see. Let me pull up what she does. Hold on. We'll tell our audience until she can get back on. Okay.
This will be a good episode for our producer to edit.
Right? Okay, so I'm going to read her bio because it is really incredible. And tell me when she jumps back on, Julietta, because I can't see her while I'm reading the bio.
Yep.
Okay, so she is an intuitive mind spirit mentor who is a speaker, author, consultant, psychic, and successful business person. She empowers individuals to unleash their inner wisdom and manifest abundance in all areas of life. So she is pretty incredible and super fascinating. I hope she can reconnect so we can have her on here.
Right. Oh, anyway, we have a viewer even though we have no guest.
I know. So let's see. What comes to mind right now? What can we share with our audience? You know what? I know what we can share. So if you're viewing it right now, because we are live on our platforms, we're on our Facebook group, we're on my Facebook group. So if you're viewing this right now and you're joining Julietta and I, we are having a little bit of technical difficulties with our guest, which is a big bummer because as you could hear by what she was telling us and then what I told you guys about her, she seems really fascinating. So speaking of that, we are super excited because we now have over 1,000 downloads on our podcast. We are at 47 or 48 episodes. We launch a new podcast every Monday and Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. We're on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeart, Amazon Alexa, a bunch of others. And we're really excited that we're able to share all these women's voices with all of you. We're able to learn from these women. We're able to support these women. It's really a win-win situation for our guests. So we would love it. If you are interested in being a guest for our podcast, go to our website. I'll drop it in the comments. It's called Voices of the Goddess. Wait, back it up. Our website is votgpodcast.com. And you can go on there and there's actually a link where you can request to be one of our guests. And Julietta, what do you always tell everybody about being a guest on our show?
So it's been fascinating to me asking women to be on the show and people are like, no, I'm too nervous. I don't have anything to say. And it's all lies that you're telling yourself. Like everybody has an important message to share with other women. And even if you think it's the same thing that's already been said before, it's the way that you are going to say it that's going to resonate with somebody out there and it's going to impact their life profoundly. So I don't care who you are, you have a voice that needs to be heard, you have a message that needs to be delivered. Allyson and I make it super easy. Hopefully we're making it fun for our guests. I know I've enjoyed every episode that we've done. Each one has brought something important to. Can I ask a question? Thank you. A love reading. Oh, look.
He's on.
We can see Halley now.
Perfect.
Figured, if I keep trying, eventually I'd get it done. I went and grabbed the phone and did all sorts of things. And yay!
Yay,
You're here. Oh, it's so nice to see you.
So,
nice to see you too.
Hallie, start over. Tell us all about you. This is awesome.
Now I give up. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I am oh my gosh, what am I? I am an intuitive mind spirit mentor. Excuse me, I am all over the place from this crazy video stuff. Let me try that one more time. I am a intuitive mind spirit mentor. And nice. What I do truly is I inspire and impact lives by invoking change and also really teaching people about the benefits of commingling intuition and intellect. I've been in one capacity or another working with this for 30 plus years. I work psychically at my office. I do presentations, speaking engagements, teach classes, have a radio show, write for a newspaper, all sorts of fun things.
But you're a busy goddess.
I am, but I love what I do. Someone asked me the other day, if you didn't have to work, if you had more money than you could ever spend, what would you do? I said the same thing that I'm doing. Mm-hmm. However, I would do it slightly different. I would do it in a larger capacity.
That's exciting. I love that. That's the one thing, right? They always say that if you're doing something, you would do it even if you didn't get paid for it, or you know what I mean? Or you didn't need the money and you still did it. That's like your passion. I think that's incredible what you do.
Thank you.
So what did you see the message we got from Mary?
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure. Can I ask a question? Thank you. A love reading.
Huh. Can I ask a question? Thank you. So is she asking for a reading on air? Is that what she's asking?
I don't know. I don't know. So
I thought today was about talking, but whatever makes everybody happy.
Maybe she'll be a little bit more specific for us. That would be awesome. Okay. So you want to go ahead and start, Julietta?
Yeah, I was going to say it's time to dive into our questions.
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. What is your superpower?
I was really thinking about that. I've been asked that before, and it's always boggled my mind. And when I was thinking about it last night, I heard this little voice go, "Really? You don't know what that is?" I'm like, "Well, what is it?" My sensitivity and my ability to overcome adverse situations because of that sensitivity, meaning I have an awareness of what's taking place. So even if things are dire or adverse, I always have that inner guidance, that inner knowing that says, you can manage this, or go left or go right. But it's something beyond the just primary intuition of like, how do I feel today? Or is it going to be a good day? It's really that ability to see what's in a situation on a myriad of levels and then just respond accordingly versus fear, versus panic, versus worry. So that's my superpower, truly.
I love it. And I love that the voices were kind of joking with you. What do you mean you don't know what it is? And
I get that occasionally. It's really funny. I laugh at myself like, okay.
Yeah, my guides, sometimes the things that they say to me, I'm like, thanks a lot. You're just
exactly.
Exactly. And it's good. I can take it.
All right. So next question.
Go ahead. You can ask it.
All right. So the next question, and this is, listen, I'm a book junkie. This is one of my favorite questions is what is one, and I know it's hard to pick one, try your best. What is one book that has greatly influenced you throughout your life or maybe recently that you really just feel passionate about?
As you said, there are so many, but we don't have that much time because I could probably take 3 hours. However, I will say that one of the books that really impacted me and that I've kept is like a little Bible for years is from an author named Shakti Gawain. She's no longer with us. She had written 30 books, but the first book that I read from her was Creative Visualization. And it was a simple little book. However, it really reminded me of the talents that I had within that I hadn't been using. It really was an easy read where anybody who is wondering about meditation or wondering around getting peaceful or about how do they make things happen in their lives. That's a go-to book.
What was the title of it again? Can you say it again?
Sure. Creative Visualization. And the author is Shakti Gawain. I think it was published somewhere in the mid 1970s or possibly late 1970s.
I feel like we had another guest refer to that, didn't we?
Maybe. I don't remember. But I love those older books. I once had a friend with a metaphysical bookstore, and they were moving locations and had like just a massive clearance sale, and were like, they had boxed up books and it was like, here, $5 a box, because they were all books written like in the 60s and 70s. And sometimes we read the books that are out there now and we think that these concepts like are new, and it's like, actually all of this stuff is ancient wisdom and it's been around forever. And sometimes it's a lot of fun to go back and read a book that wasn't written in this decade, and just the languaging can be a little different. And but it's also just really powerful to see that this information has been around forever. And so I also love that you said she wrote like 30 books. So many of us struggle with writing one book, hint, hint. And here this woman wrote 30. So come on, everybody who has that book in them that wants to come out, just get it written already.
I can share a little piece of wisdom here in respect to book writing, because I have 2 books out. The first one was 2001, Treasures Within. One of the easiest things to do is set a particular time of day every day for 3 weeks to sit down and write. And even if you sit there and go, oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to write, write that down. It's the idea of creating a pattern for you so that your mind starts to work with both hemispheres of the brain. So the intuitive, the abstract, the creative starts to go, oh, is this what you wanted to do? I can give you that. And the intellectual goes, oh, I can put it to words. It's the process itself that gets you going. And then all of a sudden you find, oh, wait, it's 7 o'clock. I need to sit down and write. And it's fluid. It's not about that. It really isn't about being critical of yourself while you're doing it, though. It's just flowing.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. That's excellent advice. And that actually reminds me of a really super practical book that I'm reading right now for another book club that I'm in, and it's called Atomic Habits. And they really talk about just the same idea of just setting aside that time and doing it. And it just becomes second nature. I mean, think about everything: tying our shoes, riding a bike, brushing our teeth, brushing our hair, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. I will definitely do that. I'm like, in my head, I'm already going, okay, what time of day can I write?
There you go. I started, believe it or not, at 11:30 at night when I first wrote my first book.
I'm already asleep then.
My husband at the time used to come downstairs and go, are you coming to bed? I'm like, soon, see ya.
Love
so
it.
True.
Yeah. I know a lot of women that it's after everybody goes, after the husband goes to bed, the kids go to bed, that's when they have the quiet time and they can get stuff done. I just can't stay awake that late. So it's going to have to be in the morning.
Not anymore.
It could be a different time of day.
Yeah. All right.
Third question.
Yes.
And this is so important because we want women to know, like, you have to make time for yourself. You have to take care of yourself. What is your favorite self-care practice?
Again, I only have one. That's not fair. I'm just teasing.
What's your favorite one?
Favorite, believe it or not, it's a toss-up between one end or the other, meaning either a facial or getting my feet massaged. Both kind of make me go, bliss out. Yeah. Now, if I can get both done at the same time, I'm a really happy camper.
Yeah. That's a new business for somebody, a place where you go and you have facials and someone's massaging your feet while it's happening.
Yes. I've been very lucky to have people that work on my face, and while the product is sitting, they come around, they massage the hands, the shoulders, the arms. Occasionally I'll get that little foot rub in there. Not as long as I would like, but at least a little something comes in. So it's
like I don't get facials as often as a goddess should, but they'll massage the neck, the hands, but this idea of massaging the feet, like I have not had this, and I think this should be a thing. So somebody out there is listening to me that has a spa, whatever, you need a package that's facial foot rub package. You heard it here.
Whoever thought of doing the actual just foot massage places was a genius right there. Because are you kidding me? Right?
Agreed. I mean, it's funny too, because they all refer to reflexology, but a lot of times you go in and go, no, just rub, just make it nice. Because that whole reflexology, you got to be glued for those thumbs.
Yes, so true. All right.
We're on to question number 4 already.
Okay.
Question 4 is, how do you create accountability in your life?
That probably is the most challenging question out of any question in my life, because I'm one of these people that just kind of goes and does. I guess if you really had to pin me down, I would say it's from writing lists or writing something down. However, I don't do it in a normal fashion. And what I mean by that is most people, they do nice, neat little columns. They're very organized. Me, it looks as if I was doing some sort of abstract sketch on the pad, because I start at one end and I work up in the corner and then I go back down. And it's almost as if I'm organizing my thoughts on paper and creating a mind map, but it's separate from a mind map because it's not specifically targeted that way. It's just more a matter of what's prominent seems to show up in the center. The things that I can do earlier in the day seem to show up in one corner, things that I could get done later in the day or up on the side. And then all of that information gets congealed down into something smaller, and I stick it in my appointment book. And I check the night before, what is it that I have to do? So really my appointment book, I guess, in the long run is what keeps me accountable.
I love that.
Way.
I feel like there's more creativity and flow, like you said, not putting everything in a list. And also, like, while we're making lists, like we're putting things down as they come to us, and it might not be very prioritized. And so you might have something at the top of your list that's really not that important, but you don't get to it, the important thing, because it's down at the bottom of the list. So I like that idea of like things kind of go to where they need to be in your, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I feel like, okay, so if you can see this is my...
Yours is pretty organized though. It's this. When I do my radio shows, I'm telling you, it's this whole thing all over the paper.
I feel like though, this does not really serve me well. So, and this is like aside from what I use as my planner, like this is as I'm sitting at my desk during the day. Oh yeah, I got to remember to do this. Oh, I got to remember to do that. Right. But I like how you say you almost kind of use that mind mapping idea. And I think that would make me much more productive if I could do something more like that versus this, where it's just like chicken scratch.
More freedom in it, I think, when you're doing it the other way. Because don't get me wrong, structure serves its purpose.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just not a very rigid, structured individual. I mean, if you ask me to show up on time for a client, I do. If you should ask me to show up to officiate a wedding or a class or something, of course, I'm going to be there on time. But as far as day in, day out, there's not a lot of structure for me. If you said, what time do you eat breakfast? Well, sometimes it's 7 o'clock and sometimes it's noon. It really just depends on the flow of the day. And I think with making lists or being accountable, for me personally, it just works better to have that flow, to have the, if you will, a creative dump of what needs to be done.
Yeah, no, I like that idea a lot. That's really good. Yeah. That's a new way of accountability that we've not had anyone share before, which is very cool.
Well, it really is a combination of using that intuition and the intellect that I talk about. Because one thing I can say honestly about myself is I walk my talk. I'm never going to share anything with somebody who I'm not willing to do myself, or I haven't experienced, or am not doing. And when I speak about the idea of commingling the two, people are often confused, like, well, what exactly does that mean? It means shifting your world in such a way that you get to fully honor yourself. You get to fully embrace both your intuitive qualities and intellectual qualities.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Thank you.
Well, I think that like it is so important to use both, because sometimes people think it's like they have to choose one or the other, and they can really complement each other, and I think together become more powerful than either of them on their own.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Are we ready for takeaways?
I think I'm ready.
You think you're ready?
That was quick. We spent so much time on trying to figure out if the camera, well, I did, if the camera was going to
All
work.
good. All good.
All completely good. Completely good.
It's exactly what it needs to be, so it's all good. So,
Okay, perfect.
yes. I would say, I think my takeaway is really going to be that last bit. Like, I'm very intrigued and interested in kind of exploring that more, like you said, of combining the two. And I think for me to try to take these lists that I have chicken scratch all over, and I can barely read the writing on half of them because I write them in the middle of doing 5 other things.
Right.
If I were to do a little bit more, creativity when it comes to it, probably would serve me a lot better. So I think
you might even consider having different colored pens.
I do. And that's my favorite. Oh, but that's a good idea on my to-do list. I like that. Right. Yeah. I'm gonna have
thing that you're drawn to intuitively will tell you what color to use for that thing.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I like that.
This sounds fun and artistic.
Right? I'm like, this is way better than a regular to-do list. Come on.
For sure.
All right.
My takeaway is I am going to block time to write. I'm not writing a book right now, but professionally, I know I need to write blogs, and I have my blog page that it's been on my mind a lot, that it's been severely neglected. And so I'm gonna figure out that it might not be writing time every single day, but I'm going to schedule writing time and have it in stone that's writing time, and I'm gonna write. Hi, A Stone, who's saying good morning to us, ladies.
Good morning. And you know what? I actually, because in our mastermind group that we're starting at the end of the month, my big, bold thing that I want to do is get my book written. So this is perfect timing. I'm going to schedule time for writing. Yep. Get it done. Get it done. Get her done.
That's it. And I'm going to suggest one other thing with that.
Yeah.
When you have a specific time to sit and write, start out with a smaller amount of time that you are designating versus longer. So in other words, maybe start out with 5 minutes. And if you feel comfortable, set a timer for another 5 minutes. So this way you don't walk away feeling as if, oh, it was such a laborious task that you couldn't complete, that you don't want to do it the next time. If anything, it'll be more like, wow, I got so much done. I'm excited about the next time I do it.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
That's great advice. I love that.
Me too. Excellent.
All right, Halley, what was your takeaway from today?
My takeaway from today is no matter how far in advance I start playing with the computer, it has a mind of its own. I may honestly have to hire somebody when I do these things and have them come in, because I touch the computers and they just don't behave. They just don't care for me.
Yeah, it's technology has definitely had an interesting flow in my life, and my energy and the technology energy have like this love-hate relationship, and so I'm very familiar with things going crazy when they're not supposed to, and my big one, I'm very curious. I just got a new car. My prior car, the driver's side headlight burnt out like a cajillion times.
Okay.
And I told the mechanic, like, there's something wrong with the fuse. There's a problem here. You need to fix it.
There's nothing wrong.
And they're like, no, there is nothing wrong with your car. Everything is right. And everyone's like, it's you. You're the one that burns out the light. I'm like, okay, fine. It's me. Fine. But I have been impressed with, for the most part, that we've been doing the show. Technology has been cooperating for me.
But you know what else that just shows me, like, another takeaway for all three of us is that, listen, all three of us could have gotten like really flustered and stressed out. And we were like, it'll work. It'll work. What's supposed to work.
You got it. And
you just got to kind of go with it. But Joanne and I were we've talked about that a lot. Like, I mean, even for me, 5 years ago, I would have been like, oh my gosh, it's not going well. That's it. We're just not going to do it. And I would have like thrown up my hands and been like, forget it. This is too stressful. And now I'm like, you know what? It's perfect. It's perfect just how it is. So
it's so funny though, because people really do put way too much energy into what's going wrong. And the truth is, if they would just calm down, things would show up, or at the very least, their mind would be more open to focus on what the problem is, because otherwise they're too busy with worry.
Well, I mean, it's what you put out there, right? Like, if you're putting out these words of, this is stressful, this isn't working, this, you're right. It's not then. Right. So we're just, Julie, because listen, we have had our share of technical difficulties doing this podcast, but it's not a ton. But every time we're just like, it'll be fine, it'll work out, and you know what? Certainly, it always does. Yep.
Absolutely.
And look, we got to see your beautiful face and meet you, and because we were all just like, chill, and it's gonna be fine.
I was going to be fine, and it was fine. And saying, it's not working. What else can I do?
That's fabulous. So.
I love it.
All right.
Awesome. Well, this was a great show, Halley. Thank you so much for joining us. You had such great advice for us and for our listeners. And I want to thank all of our listeners out there, those who were watching us live and those that are catching the show recorded. If you're liking what you're hearing, please like, share, and subscribe. And everything that we talked about today, including how to get a hold of Halley and links to all the important stuff that we talked about today, they'll be in the show notes. And so you'll find it all there. Yay. And I want to wish you all a very magical day. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Halley. It's awesome.